first like to thank you for joining us on today, as we are pleased to have you all here for the Lens series, celebrating the power of female entrepreneurs. We hope that everyone here will be able to gain knowledge on the impact of women entrepreneurship and the importance of the minority businesswoman here in the Northwest Arkansas community. From the NWA MLK Council and the Rogers Lowell Chamber of Commerce, we say welcome. I also have the pleasure of introducing to you today's moderator of this important discussion, none other than Bernice Boone. Bernice was born and raised in Washington, D.C. She's a senior auditor for the Foreign Corruption Practices Act Global Audit Services team at the Walmart home office. She has two awesome kids, two awesome sons, Darius and Dylan. Bernice is a member of the treasurer of the Phi Alpha Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated here in Northwest Arkansas. She graduated as a first-generation college student with a Bachelor's of Science in Accounting from North Carolina A&T State University in December of 2007, and she also received the MBA from the University of Maryland in May of 2020. If that's not dynamic woman right there, she is super dynamic. She also is an adjunct instructor at the University of Arkansas, and she's also pursuing a doctorate in education with the focus on performance improvement leadership from Capella University. Bernice is the co-chair of the Sam Walton College of Business and Diversity and Inclusion Corporate Advisory Board and a council member of the Northwest Arkansas MLK Council, where she also serves as one of our co-chairs. She is also an entrepreneur and co-owner of Avenue Smokers, a barbecue catering company here in Northwest Arkansas, alongside her husband, Dorian Boone. Again, it is my pleasure to turn the floor over and introduce to you Bernice Boone. The floor is all yours, sister.
Thank you so much. So today we have a magnificent panel. We have three genius women who have these organizations or businesses here in Northwest Arkansas. So I'd first like to present to you Megan D. Mayfield. She is a mother of three amazing kids and a wife to her husband, Marcus. Outside of being a wife and a mother, she is also co-owner of Imprint Boutique. They have a brick and mortar location in downtown Springdale and also have the online portion of their business at shopmprint.com. She is also a content creator on YouTube and Instagram. She likes to utilize social media platforms to discuss entrepreneurship, all things curly hair oriented, and fashion. In her spare time, you can catch her lighting candles at her house, me too, drinking coffee, no ma'am, and binge watching any show on HGTV. She's completely obsessed with interior design and home renovation. So we'd like to welcome Megan D. Mayfield. Next, we have Sheena Owens. Sheena Owens is a chef and owner of Kinley's Soul Food. It's a Southern cuisine. She is committed to bringing traditional Southern foods to her customer with her unique flair. As a resident of the Northwest Arkansas area, Chef Sheena is committed to entrepreneurship, family love, great food, and helping to build her community. Kinley's Soul Food was started by owner Sheena Owens in 2017. Sheena started the business as a way to support her two children, teach them entrepreneurship, and show them a more economical way to live as an African American. The name Kinley's comes from Sheena Owens' daughter, aptly named Kinley. Kinley's has become one of the go-to locations for freshly cooked and seasoned soul food in the Northwest Arkansas area. So we'd like to welcome Chef Sheena. Then we have Dr. Sinitra Hughes. She is currently the Associate Director for the Office of Diversity and Inclusion at the University of Arkansas and a Walton College alumni with a Bachelor of Science in Information Systems and Transportation and Logistics. Additionally, she holds a Master of Business Administration with a concentration in Human Resource Development and a Doctor of Education and Workforce Development with a concentration in Human Resources and Leadership Development. Dr. Hughes, originally from West Memphis, Arkansas, is an avid volunteer in the Northwest Arkansas area and serves on the Black Alumni Society Board of Directors, where she is currently the chair. She also serves as the Arkansas Soul Board of Directors, the Arts Live Theater Board, and the co-founder and chief operating officer of Visionary Enterprises and founder of the Air for Ariel Foundation. I welcome you all to the panel. So if you could all come off of mute, Dr. Hughes, Megan, and Chef Sheena, we're going to go ahead and get started with some questions that we have for you. So the first question that I have for you is, especially like this is through COVID, because even for my home business right now, our catering business, it's been rough through COVID, right? You got to take precautionary. So let's start with Chef Sheena, since she's in the food area. How are you continuing through this, difficult time of COVID, like keeping your business relevant?
Well, we've actually been blessed through COVID. I can honestly say that our community and all of our customers have completely supported us through COVID. I think since I have like the Southern food, it's like everybody just wanted to come get something to eat and get back home. So I think since I am like a food truck and I'm outside and everything is already ready to go. So I think that's why we were so successful in that area. But just making sure everybody's keeping their hands clean, wearing gloves and face masks, protecting ourselves from each other and our customers as well. But I'm really grateful for all the support from everyone.
Absolutely, great job. So Megan and Sinitra, how are you keeping up with the times with COVID? Because like you said, Megan, you have a brick and mortar location.
Yeah.
And you're online.
Sorry, my puppy is going crazy. Sorry. Okay. So with having a brick and mortar location in downtown Springville, I think that when everything first started, wait just a second for me.
Dr. Hughes, you want to go ahead and go until Megan's ready with how you've been keeping up?
Yes.
Your organization.
Thank you all for having us here this evening. Across all of the businesses that I'm involved in, it's definitely been difficult to operate and continue operating, during COVID as we were before COVID. So with my nonprofit, Air for Ariel, a lot of the events that we do are outreach type of events that we would require, being in person to actually give our services or provide services or be able to do any of our fundraising. So we've had to do a pretty hard pivot since COVID started and start to take some of those programs to a virtual platform. Since doing that, last March when we made the change to some of our programming. Of course, our fundraising dollars are definitely down just because the economy is so unstable, and a lot of organizations that typically give, the way that they give haven't been able to do that since COVID started. So we've definitely experienced some challenges and some difficulties, but we've still also been able to do some arts-focused events. We've had a few family paint nights, a few sip and paints, and just some general community type events just to give people a space to come into, that Zoom room or whatever platform that we're using to see somebody else other than who's in their home all day. So we've definitely had to get creative and very innovative in what we've been able to do to reach our constituents.
Understood. Okay, so Sinitra, just going off of what you just said, how did this idea come about for your business? And, where did the name for Visionary and Air for Ariel come from?
Visionary, I'll talk about Visionary first. Visionary, it's two arms of our company. So Visionary LLC, we do videography, event documentation, and we plan artistic and educational type events. And then we have a nonprofit charitable arm called the Visionary Foundation, where we give back to the community doing outreach. And our whole goal and mission is to preserve Black history, Black culture, Black knowledge. So we do a lot of that throughout Northwest Arkansas. We've even gone across the state of Arkansas, Southern Arkansas, to Pine Bluff, Little Rock, in different places, and being able to put on educational events. So the name Visionary, my husband's name is Eric, but it's not spelled in your typical E-R-I-C spelling. His name is A-I-R-I-C. So the name of our company is Visionary, V-I-S-I-O-N-A-I-R-I. And Visionary was really a gift from God to Eric. We had our daughter Ariel back in 2015, August of 2015. And Ariel was originally due in December of 2015, but she decided she did not want a winter birthday. So she came 3 months early. She was born at 25 weeks premature. And we spent the better part of 9 months really down in Little Rock, Arkansas, driving back and forth to go be with her, spending weeks down there at a time, and then coming home to take a break, feed the dog, and then going right back, to be by her bedside. And she grew and got bigger. She had to, because she was born so prematurely, her lungs were really underdeveloped. So she spent, like I said, that 9 months, but she was able to get a tracheostomy and to be able to grow and come home. So she came home when she was 9 months old and just took off, started to thrive and do all the things that, little kids at that age do. So Visionary was really a part of her name as well. God gave my husband Eric that vision to create that company, to give us an opportunity to set up, our children's future, and be able to create some generational wealth and give them an opportunity to one day, if they wanted to run the family business, to be able to do that. So that's how the name Visionary came about. And then the Air for Ariel Foundation, because of Ariel's journey and just how resilient she was, we always talked about starting a foundation, to help kids that were born prematurely, to help kids and families with trachs, to just, because those kids are so strong and they go through so much. We wanted to create an organization that, embodied everything that she was. Ariel was on track to get her trach out by the time that, she turned 3.5, 4. So we were making preparations to get there. And unfortunately, she passed away unexpectedly on March 27th of 2019. So the Air for Ariel Foundation was born on March the 28th of 2019. And it was really our way to honor her legacy, to cherish everything that she was and meant to us and still is to us, and really just keep her legacy alive and continue to touch people all across the world, because she has such an enormous impact on people that had never even met her in person, that we wanted to create that organization to really just honor her and pay tribute to everything that she was to us. So that's how our organizations came to life. It was all centered around Ariel, for sure.
100% love the story. I know Sinitra personally, and I know, a lot of what she's gone through, but, it's very important to show your kids, and to be able to give back at the same time, not just show your kids, about the community, but also provide them with those tools to give back in the community themselves. The Air for Ariel Foundation was born the day after she left. And I think that that's incredible, So Megan.
I am back.
Imprint. Where did the name Imprint come from?
So M is the first initial of myself and my 3 sisters, and my mom calls us miracle babies. So we thought to merge together the M and print, just to do with fabrics and different apparel and all that, all the things that you love about fashion, that was just the way that our name was founded. And it's also just because the name holds so much weight. And our mission statement is to impress, impact, and empower. And all of those are spelled with 3 M's, like myself and my 2 sisters. And so it just went with the general mantra of the company, that we are just trying to make an impact on our community and empower other women and create diversity in fashion in Northwest Arkansas, which is something that we didn't really see before we came along. And like, the revolution of representation of every body and every color just happened like a year ago. So we just wanted to be able to create a seat at the table for ourselves and to represent women of diverse cultural backgrounds.
So Megan, let's talk about this one part about minority women and, cultural backgrounds and things of that such.
Okay.
So, as a minority here in Northwest Arkansas, it can be difficult just to adapt to the area. No matter, you know what I mean? You can work at a corporate office. It's just not appealing because people don't know. And I will tell you, before we moved here, I was like, it's not happening.
Right.
I'm not moved. I was like, where is Arkansas? Who lives there? They're Black people. And who's going to do my hair, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So what have you done to adapt to the area from a business perspective in order to establish business success? And this is for anybody who wants to answer.
So I think that we have adapted in order to be able to establish success, just by having women represented in our business and if you go to our website, that look like us. And you have women of all body shapes and sizes. You don't have someone that's just a small modeling everything. We have tall girls, we have skinny girls, we have curvy women, we have women with diverse cultural backgrounds. And when you, as a business, you want to tell a story, you want to create a relationship with your customers, and that's super important to us. So creating that storyline through our website so that women can go there and they say, wow, I see a woman that's curvy and she relates to me. I see a woman that's tall and she relates to me. I think that is what has caused us thus far to be so successful, because we're relatable. And another part of that is just being able to show your successes and just some of your triumphs and some of the things that you experience that are difficult via social media, not necessarily on your business page, but just letting people know that you're a real person, you're out here and you're creating a business and you are aiming for success, and them developing those relationships with you as well.
I like it. Anybody else? Chef Sheena or Sinatra? Are we good with what Megan said? All right. Oh, go ahead.
I agree with what she said. Like when I moved here in 2010, and it was like, I didn't get to go to Mama D's, so I had never ate there. But it was like, okay, so I've had a steakhouse, I've had a burger, I've had a taco, I had some more tacos, and they make tacos, but I didn't have nothing that I eat. Right. And I was like,
Wait, I like tacos, Chef Sheba.
I like tacos too, but I like mine Southern. I like the way I make my tacos. I like my fish fried in my taco. I like a Southern style taco. I like when I eat my food. My food takes me back to my childhood. So being away from home, that was like, and then coming here and it didn't have anything. There was nothing. So I was like, whew. But when I first opened my truck, I had to figure out like who I was and what I could bring to the community. So when I first opened, I didn't do soul food. I just did like, cause I'm on like the ball field. So I kind of did things like for the ball field because that kept me busy at the time.
Yeah.
But once I started going to school, I was like, maybe I'm soul food. Maybe I'm what I've been wanting to eat, you know? And I started like a soul food Sunday and it would sell out. And I'm like, man, okay. So I tried
Soul
a soul
food
food
every day.
Wednesday. Yeah. And then eventually it switched over and it's like I was running from my calling the whole time. So now I feel like my menu is like made like that Southern comfort feeling, you know, when you just want something that you can only go to that one place to get it, or you're gonna cook it yourself. Take your pick. But you go to that one spot and you know that you're gonna get some fresh chicken, some fresh fish, and some greens and some sweet potatoes. So that's what I wanted to do. Like I wanted to change that dynamic.
Okay.
I would say things are a little bit different for me with Air for Ariel, just because Northwest Arkansas is a very philanthropic place. So there are nonprofits just about every square inch of Northwest Arkansas. So starting a nonprofit was easy to do in this landscape, but to start a nonprofit that has the mission that I have, there are several organizations in this area that help kids with disabilities or families that have mental or physical challenges. But I haven't found one that is solely owned and operated by a minority female, a Black female. I haven't seen that. So there was a challenge there. A lot of what we do is self-funded. I work at the University of Arkansas and that pays a lot of what we do, but we have some awesome supporters throughout Northwest Arkansas that pour into what we do. No matter what it is that we're doing, they pour into it. And that's how we're able to do what we do. So we don't have the luxury of, calling on the Walmart Foundation or, anybody else to say, hey, we're doing this. Can you support it with whatever dollar sign? That has been a challenge for us. But for Visionary, just because of this space, Black culture preservation wasn't here. There were very few of us here in thinking about, how we started and why we started, but we persevered and really tried to bring Black culture, Black knowledge, and everything Black that we do to Northwest Arkansas. And we've created quite a space for us to be comfortable in this space.
Yep. Okay. So what are some ways that you market your business? And when you market it, are you showcasing the fact that it's Black owned or women Black owned?
Definitely. I think that works to our advantage. And I can't speak for the other two beautiful ladies that are here, but I know that there are a ton of government type of assistance or funds or grants or what have you that are specifically held back for minority owned businesses that are ran by women. They reserve those, but the access to getting to those may not be as easy as we would like for it to be. So marketing, definitely saying that we're a minority owned business. We're for the culture. We do what we do for us. Is what Visionary does. And on the Air for Ariel side, our mission is to just help anybody that needs our help. So we market, that organization in a different way.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Hughes. Megan?
So specifically, I don't actually market us as a Black owned business. I market us as a woman owned business. And I mean, just like with any growing company, that might change in the future, but our primary focus is for women to feel, of all shades and colors and sizes, to feel welcome at Imprint. It's more than just it being a clothing brand, it's also an experience. And so we are in the process of building our 4,000 square foot dream office and retail space in downtown Springdale right now. And it'll be ready in like November of this year. And so what our goal is with that is for women to come there and like, yes, we like for you to shop because that is what keeps the business going. That's what keeps the lights on. But we also just want to create it as a space for women to connect and to have events and to be able to sponsor certain events like in our actual space. So our focus is just on the empowerment of every woman, and whatever that has that comes along with it, we want to achieve that through our business.
Congratulations on your new facility, Megan.
Thank you.
All right. So another question that I have for you, and I know, Megan, that you're going to have to leave soon, but I have a quick question. If you can go ahead and answer this one for us, it would be great.
Okay.
So how can we expand the women's network to accommodate all women entrepreneurs?
That's a really good question. I think that a lot of it has to do with us not being afraid to support each other, and just to be completely transparent, like not viewing other women as our rivals or our competition, but like genuinely having a sistership and working together and just bridging that gap of competition that we naturally just see in one another. That's just something that we have to do away with, and just, you know, being able to network through social media and having events like this to where you can sit down with other women and bounce ideas off of each other. There might be some area where you're struggling and somebody else has just excelled in that area, and all it literally takes is you having that open line of communication to be able to reach out to other women and find out what they've done to be successful. And so I think that the empowerment is going to come from within all of us, and just being able to share our trials and our triumphs, and hopefully other women being able to gain access to some of the things that initially were difficult for us.
Yep, I agree with that, because like I said, we own our home catering business, and you know, we've had doors open for us that we didn't expect to have open,
Right.
From, you know, talking to other businesses and things like that, you know, and we support, you know, so many different smaller organizations as well. So yeah, that was a really good answer. Anybody want to add on to that?
Chefina, where do you want to unmute?
I
and
think
say something?
she doesn't know she's on mute.
There you
I
go.
don't know what I did. I blocked my screen because my daughter had came in here, so I don't know how to get it back. I'm so sorry. I am not tech savvy, guys, but I will talk. You can hear me.
But we can see you.
We can see you.
I can't see y'all. Okay, I'm sorry. I can see you, but my picture isn't up there anymore like it was. Okay, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
So the question is, how do we expand women's networks to accommodate all women entrepreneurs? You know, one of the things that Megan discussed was, you know, women's empowerment. Get in a room or in a Zoom and say, okay, these are our trials and triumphs. Learn from me.
Right.
I can learn from you, or we can support this organization together to give you more vision, I guess, put you in the spotlight more. So
Right. I always tell myself, if I can help the next person, then help them. Like, if you see somebody struggling, just reach your hand out and help them, because it's like we all are in this together. And if we don't help one another, then eventually we all will fall.
This is true.
Yeah.
Very true. I definitely agree with Chef Sheena and Megan. We kind of had that crab in the bucket mentality when it comes to, you know, owning our business and, you know, doing what we're doing, but also taking what we've done and what we've learned and passing that on to the person that's coming up beside us or behind us. Like Megan said, if we can bridge that gap and overcome, you know, that challenge and realize that we're only in competition with ourselves. We can't look at our sister. We can't look to the left. We can't look to the right, because those people, that their purpose isn't your purpose. They're not put here to do the same things that you were put here to do. So if we could approach it, our businesses from that mentality, we will all win. We could all move up together. We could all own these 4,000 square foot spaces. And it would really be, a better environment, not just on the level of women owning businesses in this space, but just as people in general. It applies across all aspects of our lives.
Right.
100% love it. So how has being an entrepreneur affected your life and your family's lives? Megan?
So I'll take this one. I have 3 kids, a 14-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And so my teenager is more understanding, I would say, because she gets to, do inventory with me. She gets to do marketing and like visual merchandising and all that. So those are things that a teenage girl loves. Now, with the other 2 children, they don't really understand the point behind wanting to own your own business. And if you have a spouse that's not naturally spirited to be an entrepreneur, so that could be a topic of conversation with you and your partner, is just laying it out for them plain and simple of what your dreams and your aspirations are. And I've been blessed with a husband that is supportive, and I bounce ideas like financially and marketing off of him at 2:00 in the morning, and he's fine with it. But, just being able to make my kids a part of the business, I think that is what has benefited our family. So instead of me saying, hey, you guys, I'm going to the store to do open shop, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., I'll say, do you want to come up here with me? Are there some things that we could work on together, and just kind of introducing them into the business. And so I co-own the business with my sister Melanie, and it was really important for us to have a children's space within our current brick and mortar and with the one that we're building as well. And so I think that by giving them that piece of the business to where they feel like they're a part of it and they're important too, if that's something that you're able to do, then that's really what keeps us going as a family.
Yep. We had to do the same thing when we had a food truck. I 100% understand, but I'm too busy to be at a food truck, and I'm getting my degree as well. Right. So we had to shut it down.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Chef Sheena.
I said, wow, because I'm I think when I first started, Kinley was 1, but I was blessed in that area. My mom took care of them while I ran my business. But now they come with me. They go to after school care, and then after that, on the weekends, I bring them with me because they're old enough. So they usually play with the other kids out there, but I really want them to start seeing what's going on, because before they just know, okay, mommy just dropped us off and she picks us up. But now they're actually seeing wow, so she's running her food truck, she has her YouTube channel, she's doing her apron, she's doing her chef jacket. So they're seeing everything. It don't really make sense to them. They just kind of here she go with the cameras again. But or we gotta go to the food truck. But they're actually putting 2 and 2 together. So when they're telling their teachers and their friends and stuff, this is who my mommy is and this is what she does. So now it all makes sense. But it's kind of challenging to do it all as a parent, a single parent, running a business, going to school. It's a lot.
So. Yeah. So Chef Sheena, where is your food truck?
Out in Lake Fayetteville. Well, not in Lake Fayetteville. You're going to Lake Fayetteville. It's a whole bunch of food trucks right there on College. It's out in there.
Yep. I definitely know where that. Well, I've had your food at plenty of events. So yes, I know exactly where it is. So everybody who's asking where her food truck is, it's near Lake Fayetteville. It's right before the turn going into Lake Fayetteville. And there's probably about 6 or 7 food trucks out there. Maybe more now, but there's probably about 6 or 7 out there in this little
like, I don't know, it's a little property. I think we're on like.
It's
maybe
literally right off the road.
That's right beside Locomotion in Fayetteville.
Yes.
Yes.
Locomotion
Right.
and Anderson Park.
Yes. Yes. So
That's-
how can the community support minority women business owners, especially in Northwest Arkansas?
Tell a friend. Tell a friend about that business and what that business does. It's not always about coming and buying food from me, because I used to always focus on students. I had tons of students, but those students told their mama, that told their friend, that told the next person. So I feel like if you just tell somebody about me, tell somebody about my food and my journey and what I'm trying to do to change my community, to bring my food to our community, like that means a lot to me.
Dr. Hughes, how can the community support your organization and the cause as well, you know?
Right. So I mean, once we're able to get to be back in person, volunteering your time, showing up in the spaces where we are, whether we're working with children or doing, grief therapy with art, or, just all of the programs that we do. We do a back to school drive where we collect school supplies. We do all types of things out in the community. If you can give your time, a financial contribution will always be great, but we really love seeing our people out, really helping in the event space when we're doing things. In that,
Zion.
Sorry. He just came in here. But yeah, just being present. And when you can't be present, finances will take our organizations a very long way, whether that be, if you are a for-profit or a not-for-profit. Sharing our content. You don't have to, follow us, but if you see it and you like what we're doing, hit the like button, share it, or, send it to a friend, like Chef Sheena said. That's really the biggest things that you can do for our organization, because the more exposure that we have, the higher up we'll go in trying to reach our mission and accomplish the objectives that each of our respective organizations has.
Yeah, because I mean, your organization touches more than just aerial. I mean, you're thinking about like March of Dimes as well, right?
Right. So March of Dimes is definitely a program that we support on a national level. We also support the Mighty Kids program, which is a program that we work with Lakeisha at Mighty by Design Therapeutic Art Studio in helping, those kids that, may have had some challenges in their lives to overcome obstacles and build their self-confidence and learn how to save money and do, just different things that they normally wouldn't have access to without programs like ours. So yeah, supporting the cause for sure.
Yeah. I think that it's consciously making an effort to be there for small businesses. There, monetary and buying and sales is always great, but it costs nothing to reshare your friend or your relative's information about their business. It costs nothing to talk to someone else about their business, or to say, if someone is asking, where can I find X, Y, and Z, and then recommending their business to someone. So I think that in situations like that, it's always great to have those sales on your books. But even when you can't support, and if it's not in your budget, then support me through social media, share my content, share things that are going on about my business, because I think that that speaks volumes when you're able to help somebody through word of mouth. And we live in a time now where word of mouth is not just you verbally telling somebody, it's just clicking a button that takes you like zero effort, like at all. You're already on your phone or on your computer, just hit the share button. Like it's that easy. So,
and use the repost app.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for sure. So Chef Sheena, did you want to add to that?
No, that was it. Like, that's how I feel. Like, you have to just like tell a friend.
Yep.
Tell them about it. Even if it was a bad experience, like tell them about it.
And then they can come and see for themselves, right?
Exactly. It was on their mind to tell you about it.
Yeah, so Dr. Hughes, is Air for Ariel only for Northwest Arkansas?
No, we've helped families all across the state, as far as Memphis, Tennessee, actually, with our Christmas families, Ariel's Angels, where we adopted 5 families that have been severely impacted by, COVID. And those parents just didn't have a way to get, the things that their children wanted for Christmas. So we went out, did a crowdsourced fundraiser and on Facebook, and we raised, enough money to not only support the 3 families that we started with, but an additional 2. And we did, well, it was actually a total of 6. We did 2 here in Northwest Arkansas, 2 in Central Arkansas, and then 2 over in the Delta. So we're all over the place.
Gotcha. So, and this is for everyone on here. If you had the ability to mentor another woman interested in entrepreneur life, would you consider doing it?
Yes.
I would.
Absolutely. I absolutely would. And it's funny you asked that question. Today I was, in a Zoom meeting, a very unexpected Zoom meeting with a former student's mom. My student gave her mom my contact information because she knew I had started a couple of businesses, and her mom is starting a debutante pageant back in their hometown. And she was trying to apply for a grant, and she didn't know what to do. So she called me, and I was able to help her. And this lady is probably 20 years my senior. But I was able to help her navigate writing that grant application, and fingers crossed, she'll get the money that she needs to put her program on. So mentorship is definitely important with us being women business owners, but we also have to move from that position of mentorship to being a sponsor. Because it can't just stop with you being a mentor. You have to, reach back and pull people and give them the tools and skills that you also possess to help them not only, grow in their careers, but to grow and thrive.
So what's the difference between a mentor and a sponsor, Sinatra?
So the difference in a mentor and a sponsor, I think a mentor is just I don't want to just say someone, but being a mentor, you really, you could be mentoring a group of people or just one, but you're checking in with that person maybe on a frequent basis, saying, okay, what are your objectives? What are your goals? How are you achieving those things? But a sponsor kind of takes it a level higher to say, okay, you've been my mentee, but I want to get you at the sponsorship level. So let's look at your goals long term, and let's see where you want to go and where you want to take your career. It's kind of like the mentorship is right when you're starting out to try to figure out what it is you want out of life. But when your sponsor comes along, that person not only can take you along the path that they've been along, but they can push you forward and propel you further than they've even experienced.
Yeah, I agree. And even with the sponsor, I would say that they're the ones that are talking about you at the table too.
Right.
Ones that are going to be like, oh, I know what they're capable of, and I support this person. I sponsor this person to get this job or to do this project, right?
So looking at it like an advocate. Your sponsor is definitely going to be your advocate. That sponsor is going to advocate for you when you're not even in the room.
Yep, that's right. So, and I know that you've all said yes to this, but what motivates you? I promise this is my last question, and I left this last for a reason. What motivates you? Who motivates you?
I'll go ahead and go. The person that motivates me is my mom, Angela Mosley Montz. And
yes, Big A.
So my mom is just everything that encompasses what a powerful and independent Black woman is. And so, she is just like striving for her doctorate. And I witnessed my mom as we were younger being in corporate America as a Black woman. And I just have looked up to her and looked up to her drive and her commitment in providing a great life for myself and my family. And the motivation just comes from figuring out what your why is and having to wake up every day and answer to that. It's a call to action. So some people have a why that's like, oh, I don't want to, work a typical 9 to 5, or I want to be my own boss. Mine is like, I'm here to make money, but I'm just here to more so create a place that was not meant for me. If anybody knows the history of Springdale originally, like, Black people weren't supposed to be in Springdale, like, period. And I'm a Black woman with a business in Springdale.
Yes.
And so that right there is just like mind blowing to me. And to be able to come into the community and make the impact that I want to make by creating scholarships and having those available and having programs that are available, and just coming from like that space of like genuine authenticity of what it is I aspire to do as a woman and as a mother. That's what motivates me. I think that my aha moment came when I had my third child and I was working at JB Hunt at the moment, and there wasn't a schedule that just really fit me trying to be a mom, knowing that this was my last baby that I was going to have and having that time with her. And so I just went to my mom and my sisters and I was like, what if I created this business that entailed everything that it means to me to be a woman and to be a mother simultaneously? Like, what if I could create a schedule and maybe, in the future, create a remote schedule for even women like to work in customer service and still have a way to feel that sense of independence through collecting their own paycheck? Then that's what I wanted to do. And so it was a moment of like having an epiphany and saying, you have to be the change that you want to see. It's you, because God has given you the vision. It's not for you to push off onto somebody else. It's your place in the world. And that's just what motivates me to do what I do.
Yeah, and quite honestly, Megan, your mom motivates me. And I told her, I said, I'm not getting my doctorate. I told Sinitra said, what? I'm being serious. Like, I was just like, it was just like that moment. I was like, all right, they're both saying I can do this.
Right.
Much going on in the community. I'm just like, this, like, my life about to be over. Like,
right.
It was just so much going on. And the other day she felt so bad that she didn't call and congratulate me on my new position.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, it doesn't matter if you forgot. The point is that you did it. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, Chef Sheena, who motivates you, or what motivates you?
I think my children, but I'm gonna say Kinley the most, my daughter, because it's like, when you have when you're I'm a single mom, but I didn't grow up without a dad, so I don't kind of relate to them. You know what I mean? Like, I had my dad, he was amazing. So a lot of times I feel like, I wonder if she's filling that void. So everything that I do, I try to show her that it doesn't matter what you go through in life. Life is going to give you all kind of stumbling blocks, but just keep going. Don't give up. And that's
life gives you lemons. Beyonce said, make lemonade.
Exactly. So that's why I love so much. She's this little sassy little girl, but I pray when she gets older and she sees the empire that I've built for her, and not only her, but King as well, that she'll be grateful for it. So I love my children.
Yeah, that's awesome. I grew up without a father in the home. And I'll tell you, like, initially my mom was like, okay, what is happening with this child? Like, what is she, how do I handle this? But the community raised me. They say it takes a village.
It's true.
Dr. Hughes?
So who motivates me? I'm a product of a single parent home as well. My mom had 6 kids, 5 in the home that she raised by herself, with the help of my dad's grandmother. So I was also raised by my great grandmother while my mom worked 2 and 3 jobs at a time. So my great grandmother instilled in me at a very young age the importance of that it's more blessed to give than it is to receive. So she taught me the importance of being a servant leader. and really giving and of yourself unselfishly. And I've kind of carried that with me. Unfortunately, I lost my grandmother Mother's Day of 2018, but up until the day that she passed away, she was always, even from her nursing home, room, still, making sure you give back, I love you, make sure you do what's right, or things like that I'll carry with me forever. And she was able to meet Ariel before she passed away and spend time with her. And she was just, those two, I imagine them, now, both in heaven and leading me and guiding me in everything that it is that I do. I know that a part of my purpose is to be a giver unselfishly, to give back in whatever way that I can. So that's really they're my motivation and my inspiration. My son, Zion, who is running amok right now, and my husband, we've been through a lot of life together. We've only been married for 8 years, but we've been through a lot of life together. And there's nobody else that I'd rather, have gone through these experiences with in my life. So they all motivate me to be the best that I can be and to really continue to push forward and do as much as I can with the life that I'm given to help as many people as I can.
Yeah, I love it. So, I really want to thank all of you. And I know that Megan had to drop, but I really want to thank you, Megan, Chef Sheena, and Dr. Hughes for being here tonight. I know, Dr. Hughes, you had another meeting, but I really appreciate you being here for us and the community to tell us how we support, Black organizations and businesses here in Northwest Arkansas and outside of Northwest Arkansas for you, Dr. Hughes. So I would now like to ask Ross if he wants to come on and give some final words on tonight.
Yeah, I just want to, echo Vanice's thoughts and just say thank you all for being here. Thank you for being totally inspirational women and just leading our community and just doing what you're doing with the adversity that you're facing, and just to continue to persevere. That shows a lot about your character and who you are. So just thank you for coming out and sharing your stories, raising awareness about your businesses, about what you guys are doing. So just really, really appreciate it. And I'm going to sign off, but Vanice, I want to thank you for leading the conversation as well. And be sure to follow the Rogersville Area Chamber on social media, but also follow the NWA MLK Council on social media as well, so we can just all continue to raise awareness about what's going on in our community, what's making Northwest Arkansas such a great place to live, work, and play. So thank you everyone for attending tonight, and we'll see you next time.
And thank you, Lindsay and Quentin, for everything as well.